Hello, welcome to the Rich and Simple Living. My name's Maria, and if you're new here, I vlog all kinds of home life things, bit of homeschooling, bit of urban homesteading, cooking, all kinds of bits of pieces in between. Today we're going to be doing cooking, and it's Friday, and we tend to use the air fryer on a Friday, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to try out, actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a coconut sponge, and I want to try out one of these silicone, I don't know, I want to say dishes, can't say tins, it's not tin, moulds, I don't know what you'd call them. But I'm going to try and put the cake in there. I've already lined it with one of the grease-proof sheets, and I've never used one of these silicone moulds or whatever they are before. I don't know what it will be like, so we're going to give it a go. I'm going to pop it up there for a minute out of the way, because as most of you know, I've got a small kitchen and I'm always complaining about it. So yeah, it'll be the first time using one of them, so I'm not sure how it's going to work out. But like I say, I'm going to do a coconut cake today, and we'll see how that goes in the air fryer. So I'm just going to do a basic sponge, and we'll add coconut to it. I'll bring you down so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. I've got everything measured out ready today. So you have to excuse my Christmas jumper as well. Everybody says, oh, it's bad luck, you shouldn't have your Christmas jumper on. But I'm like, well, where does it say Christmas? It's snowmen. If it snows, then we'd build snowmen. I can't see anywhere it says Christmas. And it's quite cold out, so it's going to keep me warm. So I don't mind wearing it. So yeah, let's get on with this sponge. Never mind my jumper. First of all, I'm going to pop 6 ounces of sugar into my bowl, and I'm going to put, when I find my spoon to scrape it out, 6 ounces of margarine in. And we're going to start off by creaming them together. So I've left the margarine out for a bit, sort of melt. I like to use butter normally, but I grabbed the margarine today because I thought, well, it might melt quicker given the weather's pretty cold today. And I want something that will melt easier. So we'll put that in there. I don't jump it all over the sides. Do you know what? I always find it better to use a spoon. A lot of people use spatulas for mixing, and I do have plenty of spatulas. But for some reason, I've always used a wooden spoon. I don't know why, whether that's what I first started using and just got used to it. I don't really know. But I do always use a wooden spoon. I just seem to find it easier. I don't know why that is. But whatever works, isn't it? Whatever you feel comfortable with doing. Now, another thing, normally when I make a sponge, today I'm doing it like this by hand, but normally I use my food processor and put it in there, and I whisk it all up in there. But I just thought, oh, I'm going to do it by hand today. So that's all creamed in lovely. There we are. It's all creamed in nice, and it's looking a little paler, so I think we're all right to add some eggs now. So what I'm going to do, pop that there a minute, I'm going to put 3 eggs to it. So it's like a 6-6-6-3 mixture. So you've got your 6 ounces of self-raising flour, your 6 ounces of sugar, your 6 ounces of margarine, then your 3 eggs. Give that a beat, and then I'm going to mix it one at a time. Sometimes I get a bit overzealous with the mixing and it ends up jumping over the bowl if I'm doing it by hand. Another reason I like doing it in the food processor. I'm not so messy with that. Let's just scrape that off there. There we go. Mix that in. We'll do another one. I like to break them into a cup first, just to make sure I've not got an off egg. Normally it's because the eggs are from my own chickens and they can get mixed up when I put them in the trays. People take them from the wrong order sometimes, so you might break an egg and find it stinks and it's revoltingly black and green because it's an older one, they've not took them in order. So I've always got used to just beating an egg first, breaking it before I add it. But these are shop bought ones because the hens have been off the lay, but they are starting to lay a bit again at the moment, which is nice because I do like to try and have as much stuff from our own garden as I can. Obviously I can't have everything, but it's nice what we can have. Put the last one now. Oops, don't want the shell in it. And there we go, just beat that one. There we are. Put that out of the way and mix that in. Have a nice smooth mixture then, which is what it is. So I'm going to add the 6 ounces of self-raising flour to that. I'll just put half at a time so I can sort of fold it in, or I do end up in like a powder puff. See, I've already lost a bit on the side. This is what happens with me. Yeah, better mix it a bit slower. Together nice. We'll have the rest. There we go. File that in. Try not to get it everywhere this time. Yeah, not too bad this time. So that's coming together nice. If your mixture's still a bit runny, because it'll depend on the size of eggs you use, especially if you have your own eggs in the from the garden, from your own hens, there could be various sizes. So if your mixture's still a bit runny, you can always add a little bit of self-raising flour to it. It never hurts to add a bit more. And I've done it a few times, it's never tasted overwhelmingly of flour by doing that. And again, if your mixture's a bit tight and it doesn't drop, then you can add a bit of milk to it. So that's all mixed nicely now. So what I'm going to do, now there's various ways of doing the coconut sponge. I'm going to put my coconut in there, mix it round so the coconut is all inside of the cake. But you could bake the cake, pop that in as it is, bake it, and when it's done, put your jam on top and sprinkle your coconut on then. It's entirely up to each individual how they do it. So I'm just going to put a little sprinkling and mix that in. I don't really measure coconut how much to put in. I just sort of know by going a little sprinkle at a time. Just might put a fraction more in. So we don't want it sort of overwhelmed by coconut. I mean, you could do the coconut cake like this, and when it's cool, you could still put jam and a bit of coconut on the top if you like it like that. So there's various ways of doing it. But I'm just going to do it like this, because by doing it like that, you can either slice it and eat it like a cake, or you could use it like a sponge dessert and add custard to it. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and then the choice is up to the person who eats it if they want to have some custard with it. So it can be like, not just like a tea time cake, but it can double up as a dessert as well. So let's see now how it goes in here. Well, I think about it, but turn the air fryer on. So I'll pour it in. Let's see if I can turn around so you can see. Do it slowly because I want to try and push it out of the way. I wonder if I could do it. Get some in there, push it back a bit then perhaps. It's going nicely. Spread it round a bit to the other side a bit. I'm holding the hoping, that it all holds in shape a bit. Once it's all in, scrape the last bits out. I quite often air fry everything as opposed to going on bake, but I think today I'm going to go on bake with this one. I'm not always sure what the difference is, to be honest, because sometimes I've done it like both ways and not really been able to tell the difference. So I'm not 100% sure of what the difference would be, but I am going to put it on to bake today. There we go. Now, if this was going in the oven, I would normally put a bit of foil over it so it didn't burn. Because sometimes I find in the oven, because I like to do a nice thick sponge, especially if I'm doing like a sandwich sponge, I do it like that and I'll put one in each sandwich tin. So then I'll put foil over it because you might find that the middle won't be cooked, but the top will be the brown you want it, the nice golden brown look. And if you leave it then to cook the middle, the top can get a bit dark or a bit burnt. So I'll put a bit of foil over it till the centre is more or less cooked, and then I take the foil off. That's when I'm in the oven. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to pop it straight into the air fryer. And we'll see what happens with it. Let's bring it down a fraction. I might be able to get both in. So this is really funny to pick up. So there it is in there. I'll put it that way. So actually, no, I'll put it that way. I tried to think which way I might grab it when I come to get it out. Might be that way. So I'm going to put it in. I really hope this works okay. I have never used a silicone thing in the air fryer before, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. So we're going to switch it on anyway. We'll go to the bake and we are going to go 160. And I'm going to try it for 16 minutes to start with and we'll see what happens. So there we have it. It's on. We'll come back and have a look in a moment when it's done. Well, it's still on the go at the moment, but I want to show you something else. I've done another mix. I've done a fairy cake mix, which is 4 of self-raising flour, 4 of sugar, 4 of butter or margarine, and 2 eggs. And I've mixed that because I'd also got one of these little silicone plate things. Oh, that's done now. And I thought, I tried to put a paper case into them to do some little fairy cakes, but the shape of it wasn't right for it. So I've buttered it all round to grease it. I'm hoping that's okay because, like I said, I've never used these before. Could burn, I don't know what it will do. But I'm going to fill it with some fairy cake mixture simply because Sean doesn't really like coconut. So I'm going to do some plain ones as well. And I mean, if they turn out, or even if you're just doing fairy cakes in the normal cake plates, paper cases I should say, you could still coat them with jam and coconut if you wanted and have some plain ones as well. So it's all very versatile. So I'm going to half fill these. We'll leave that a minute. We won't worry about that for a minute. And I'm just going to fill these about halfway up. And I'm just hoping really that this works. I don't know. But I thought I want to try this as well. I think I went a bit over off there. I want to try this little case as well to see what it does. I thought we'll try some little fairy cakes in it. Although I'm not sure what sort of shape it is. It isn't really like a fairy cake shape. It's a bit like a muffin shape. But I've done a fairy cake mix anyway. We'll see what happens. I like to try things out. And I've definitely tried this out because I've never ever used these silicone trays and plates and things before. I mean, if you have, you know, please drop in the comments down below and tell me all about them and what sort of ones you've got. I'm still on the lookout for a square one because that's the one thing I haven't got really to fit into my air fryer is a square one. So I'm still on the lookout for one of those. So if anybody knows where I can get one from, please let me know and then I might be able to find one. Right, we're filled then. We will have a look now at the cake. So I'm trying for the spoon not to fall in because there's still some mix left in there. So I'll put that to one side a minute. I'll pop it behind the air fryer a minute and just get my towel so I can pull the thing out. So I don't want it to burn my top. It'll be really hot. Get something sharp to poke through it. Oh, I think that's going to need some more doing. That looks really wibbly wobbly in the middle. You see it's brown on top and it's not done in the middle. So this is where I'm thinking, oh, I could do with a bit of foil over this. So I might just put a bit of foil over. I wasn't sure what it would come out like. But if I can find some foil in my drawer, I will put a bit over it. Just hoping that it sort of doesn't burn no more. We'll pop it back on. Just enough to cover the top of it. Right, hopefully that'll do. So I'm going to pop it back in again. I gave it 16 minutes, wasn't it, last time? So let's have a look. See, this is the thing, because I put it on bake. I wonder if putting it on air fry would have made a difference. Like I say, I tend to put everything on air fry. Occasionally I do put things on bake, but I don't really know what the difference is because I only seem to have one heating element in there and that's at the top of it. So I don't really know what it does and the instruction books never tell you. Doesn't tell me anything. So I'll go back on bake, means I've got it on bake, and I'll go back to 160. Now whether it should have been a bit higher on bake, I don't know. We'll see. And I'll perhaps give it another, I don't know. Let's have a look. Shall we go? Because if it's in the oven, I would normally put it on about 25 minutes, something like that, covered in foil, and then sometimes it'll need a bit longer. But, oh, I've come right down there. I might just, I don't know. I'm tempted to put 10. Shall I go 10? Let's go 10. If I smell burning, I can always take it out. So I've popped some foil on it, put it back on 160 on bake, and another 10 minutes, and we'll see what it does. And hopefully when we get to put these little fairy cakes in, they shouldn't take so long, and they shouldn't need covering with foil either. So we'll come back to them in a minute. Right, I've taken the cake out of there because it's not cooking at all. I put it on again, I switched it to air fry and I put it on for another 10 minutes and it was still running in the middle. So it had been on for 36 minutes and it was still running. I switched it to air fry from bake. Twice it was on bake and then the third time I put it onto air fry. It made no difference. I don't know why, because I've done the exact same sponge mix in there a couple of times and had no trouble. The only thing I did different was before they were in metal tins, and this time it was in this one. Now I've not thrown the mix away. I have managed with a great deal of mess and difficulty to get it into one of my normal sandwich tins, and I popped it into the oven, and I'm going to see what it does in there, because I see no reason why it shouldn't have cooked. I've done them before. I've done a couple in here now, and like I say, the only difference is I've used normal tins before, and this time I used the silicone one. So I don't know. Does that make a difference? I wouldn't have thought so, because people use them all the time. So I don't know. I don't know why it didn't do. I thought, should I have done higher temperature? I did up the temperature a bit. That didn't seem to make no difference. I've absolutely no clue as to why. So if anybody spotted anything that they could give any advice on, please let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, all is not finished yet. We're going to try the other silicone one now. Like I said, I have done the fairy cake mix in it. We're going to put it in. I've done a couple little paper ones because I had mix left over, so I'm going to put them around the edges of it. I can get them in, no problem, plenty of room. I'll just pop them in there. Now, I've done fairy cakes in here before, and they've come out brilliant, and you can watch the vlog on it and see that they did. So I'll just say that before they come out a disaster. So I'm going to put them in. I can't remember what temperature I had them on before, but I'm going to go straight into air fry. I'm probably going to go about 160 because it is like a smaller area. It's not like a big one. Right, and I'm going to do 16 minutes to start with. So they're on air fry, 160 and 16 minutes. Let's go. And we'll see if they come out all right. I mean, I've done them in there before. Like I say, you can watch one of the earlier vlogs and they come out beautiful. So we'll see. But I mean, I think I'd done vlog on sponges as well before. It wasn't coconut sponge I did last time. I did a vanilla and a chocolate one in the tins and did them in here, and I think I have vlogged that one and they came out all right. They were lovely. So I just don't know why. But we'll see if it does in the oven now, what happens in there, and we'll see what these are like when they're done. So we'll be back in a bit. So it's just beeped. We'll have a look what's happened with these. Just realised I've got 2 pairs of glasses on. I'm always doing that, and I'm going, where's my glasses? And they're on my head. Oh dear, let's have a look. Oh, they look cooked, but they've sort of risen like Yorkshire puddings. The ones in the silicone hat. Let's bring you down so you can see. Bring it along a little bit. There we go. Careful, I'm holding the knife. Careful. Right, let's, I'll poke one of these. So they're okay. I don't know if I can get them out. The ones in the little trays, they seem to be okay. They've cooked okay. Definitely clean as a whistle. No problems with them. I'm wondering whether maybe I'm better off with my type of air fryer, a Tefal, just doing everything directly on air fry. The bake doesn't seem all that brilliant. Let's have a look at these. Now these are done as well. Poke it through the middle. Clean as a whistle. No problem. The only thing now with this is, I use my sleeves. How am I going to get them out of the silicone tray? Let's just push this to one side and you can see. Let's have a look. Right, so you can see they're done. And obviously, get my hands back out. These are done. See, these were the ones I was hoping I could fit them into there and just put it in, but they were too big, but they were all right. They fitted. So what I'm going to do, I'll go behind you and I'm going to get a plate and I'm going to see if I can get them out. Might be better if I go that way up, perhaps. Oh, hot. See if I can just shake them a bit. There we go. They're out, lovely. Nice and easy that was. Stand them up. You can see like the shape of them. I'm not sure what sort of tray that is. I mean, a bit like a muffin, but it's done the trick. There, I'll stand them on there to cool down. So they've cooked all right. They're just the plain sponges. The other one's still in the oven. I'm going to get that out now and we'll have a look if that's cooked. But they've done all right. So I can't say that it's the silicone that's caused the issue because I used it for them and they've cooked fine. The only difference this time I went straight onto air fry. So I don't know whether maybe I'm better off just sticking to air fry rather than bake. I don't know, like I haven't got a different kind of air fryer. Like some people have lots of different makes and they can compare them. So there's obviously some kind of differences between them. But I've only got the Tefal and I've got nothing to compare it with. So maybe in one, I hear a lot about these Kasoris and things. I've never had one, don't actually know how they work or anything, but maybe that it would bake, but in here it's better on air fry. I don't know, just an example, you know, for the different ones. So we'll see. I mean, what kind of air fryers do you all have? Drop in the comments down below and what you find baking good for or air frying good for. What issues you might have with yours. You know, all helpful tips and things that we can tell each other. Just drop them down in the comments down below because it's not just me who reads them and I do take on board what you say and also other people read them and it's useful for everybody else as well. We're all helping each other. So I think it's good that you do drop all these tips down below and if you see somewhere I've gone wrong and pull me up in it and go, hey, you'd be better off doing such and such. Because it's really useful to know that. It all helps. Especially as we probably all have got different types of air fryers and they all do differently, you know. So somebody will have something somebody else has got that I haven't got. So they're better off having advice from somebody else. But anyway, I'm going to have a look what this one's doing in the oven. Right, we'll have a look what it looks like now. We'll bring you down. Take the foil. Now that looks cooked. This was all runny. You can see here, it's a bit hard if I turn it around with my nail. Along there where I lifted it in, it was all runny and you can see it had gone over there because it was just runny. But now that looks cooked. Pop a knife through and that's as clean as a whistle. 10 minutes in the oven on gas mod 5, sorted that out straight away. So like I was saying, I don't know what went wrong with it in the air fryer. I'm just assuming maybe it'd have been better on if I had have done air fry instead of bake. Maybe it's because of the type of air fryer. I don't really know. Like I say, let me know if you've any idea in the comments down below. So that's that for this week. We got there in the end with this cake anyway. So thank you for watching and bearing with me. And join me again next week now. We'll come back next week with another vlog. I don't know what we'll vlog yet, but we'll find something to vlog about. And of course, the end of the week, we'll do something in the air fryer again, if I dare. So yeah, like I say, thank you for watching and take care. Bye.